Hello, my name is Tanveer Ahmed. I'm a Bangladeshi Australian, a journalist and a doctor. Today I'm interviewing a very exciting man and a newly minted superstar. He works trying to stop criminals by day, but his most recent role, which has landed him in superstar status, he plays a particularly frightening villain himself. Let me introduce the man himself, dark, mysterious Taskeen Rahman. Welcome, Taskeen.
Thank you.
Wonderful to meet you.
Pleased to meet you too. How are you?
Now, Taskeen, I'm very interested in your life story, and I know you work by day trying to stop criminals. Tell me what you've learnt about crime. Why do people commit crimes?
Oh, who knows? I mean, people from different backgrounds, whatever drives them to commit crime, it can vary. Troubled childhood, transition point. Everybody's born innocent, in my opinion, anyways. And if something goes wrong, they're dying as a convict, say, for instance, yeah? But what intrigues me is what has happened in between.
Mm-hmm.
So it can mean a number of things. And what I find the most interesting thing about people committing crime in particular is that what they're doing, where they've been, people they've been around with, and what has driven them to do what they're doing. So, but either way, I mean...
Do you believe in evil? Do you believe people can be evil?
You can blame what they've done. You can't blame the person. That's what I believe. Because everybody's a victim of a certain, subject matter. But I don't think it's the person. The person is never bad. It's what they've done. It's the bad time and a bad place.
Okay. Well, tell me about the nature of the villain that you get to play in Dhaka Attack.
Dhaka Attack, the project, the film Dhaka Attack has been very exciting. It's been a very exciting project. I'd like to, talk a little bit about the director of our film, Dipon. He's quite possibly one of the most specific, the most relentless directors of our time. We were very selfish and very specific in terms of what we wanted to portray in film. And for us, it's been a very exciting journey. Every day was a rehearsal for us. We knew exactly what we wanted. So every day when we went on location, we knew that this is what we want. This is how we're going to do it, and this is how long it might take us to do it. So we were very specific in terms of our schedule, our artists, and we trained ourselves constantly. We supported each other, and in terms of directorship, I think he's very, very, very gifted. And so is the screenwriter, which is Sani Sanwarpai. We got absolutely amazingly support from everybody, all the artists, directors, screenwriters, extras. It's absolutely mind-blowing. So for me, this film, and particularly my character, which is Jisan's character, is a dark character. He's obviously the bad guy, the antagonist of the film. He comes from a background of a troubled childhood. He's got a past. He's got a parent that abandoned him. So I don't want to give out too much, for obviously people haven't watched the film yet. But all I can tell you is that the character is driven by a lot of hate, a lot of pain, and a lot of negligence, which has driven him to do what he's done. So you're going to have to check it out and see yourself what happens, but nevertheless, very exciting.
From my understanding, while I'm not an expert on Bangladeshi film, it strikes me that the nature of the villain in this movie is different to what the audience might be used to. Tell me a bit about that.
Yes, it's a villain. It's not the kind of character that Bangladeshi community or Bangladeshi viewers might have seen before. It's very in-depth, very impulse, and it's like I said before, it's a very dark character. You wouldn't see him a lot in the film, but he comes. He does what he's done. He does what he does. There's a lot of, I would say that there's a bit of a violence for obvious reasons. And he sort of turns the story around. When he enters the story, you will see that why he's doing it. He has a reason why he's doing it. And at the end of the whole story, you'll see that it is basically his personal. It is very personal. Everything that he's doing, everything that he's done to the community and the people, to his family, to himself, everything is very, very personal for him.
Your own background, I understand, your working background and educational background is in criminology and forensics. Do you think, does that help you at all when you play a character like this?
It has helped me to understand people's psychology and how, once again, the transition point of people's mentality, how what changes us, what drives us to do what we do. So I was able to understand people's minds in terms of darkness. I'm always driven, I'm always driven to things that, anything that is exciting. For instance, anything that is good or bad, they both excite me. I don't look at good as good. I don't look at bad as bad. They both excite me at the same time, right? So while playing this particular character, and what I've studied in obviously in school, in college or university, it has helped me because I thought it has contributed to my character, and to be able to extract that psychology off books from people's minds and people's psychology has helped me do this character, because I was able to understand that, okay, when somebody commits a crime, why has he committed the crime and what has led him to do it? That was very important for me to.
Yeah, it sounds like the character was really made for you, isn't it? You could give it some real depth.
Yeah.
Now tell us a bit more about the film, because I understand, look, historically the Bangladeshi film industry is often beset by, I guess a lot of negative press, relatively poor production values, very low budgets, low quality scripts, and it's often had its challenges over the years. But this movie strikes me as potentially a step above. But tell us a little bit more about some of those aspects, the production values in the movie, some of this relationship with the police, which is quite unique as well.
We had a lot of support from the police department. So in this film, we've highlighted in 3 different departments of police units that we've got in the country. So a lot of people are not aware that we do have a designated bomb disposal unit, which is very greatly highlighted in the film. We also have a designated SWAT unit in the country. And it's fair to say that a lot of people don't know that we do have that unit available in the country. 24 hours, 7 days a week. We're always there to help people.
Now, Taskeen, tell me a bit more about how you developed this interesting character.
Director Dipan was very specific about this character. I still remember when we initially started talking about this project, he sat me down and he went through the entire script with me, not just my character, which was very important for me. It was quite rewarding. It was important for me to understand not just my character as a whole, but everybody else's character as well, so that I could understand that, okay, what is the transition point of my character and how it reflects and bounces off with the other characters as well. Playing this particular character was not very easy, and I'll tell you that now. And what happened was I developed this character over the course of time. It took me about a couple of months. I isolated myself from my friends and families as well, just to get an idea of this particular character. And it is also a very dark character. Just on that particular note, we did get a lot of support from the government in terms of production value.
Go back to that. How did you isolate yourself? What did you actually do?
I didn't mix around with a lot of people when I was developing this character in my head. I didn't go to many places. I didn't socialize a lot, because this character is about isolation.
Oh, wow.
And like I said, negligence.
Not easy to isolate yourself in Bangladesh with 200 million people. So
no, I was not. I was not there. I was not there. I was here, and I heard the story. We did very little filming, and I came back. And then I took about a month or 2 just to go through the character in my head. Wherever I would go, I would think about this particular character. And I would think how this would reflect my personal life. It was challenging because I went to work. I still saw my friends. I still saw my, acquaintances. Still tried to be the guy that I am. But at the same time, I had hypothetically the character all the time in the corner of my head, which had helped me to develop this character in my head. And when I was on location in front of the camera, I just switched on.
Well, what did you learn? I mean, just me as a psychiatrist, I'm interested. What did you learn about isolation? What does that do to people?
Isolation, okay, for me, isolation is beautiful. I like my solitude, but I hate my loneliness. It's two different things.
Well put.
Isolation can be beautifully dangerous. For me, it's important for self-reckoning, for self-understanding. But at the same time, isolation can take you to a deep, dark place where there's a point of no return. But this particular character, just talking about this particular character of Jisan in Dhaka Attack, he doesn't have friends. He, I don't want to give out too much, but he doesn't have a lot of friends. He's alone. He's a lonely child. He's also abandoned. And for somebody like me who has a very good childhood, and I've been a very loved kid, I grew up in a family of very lovely parents, creative environment, and I've been surrounded with a lot of positivity and goodness. So it was challenging for me to feel that sort of darkness and grow that within me, and to extract myself from that positivity. It was a good challenge.
Now, tell me a bit more about how this movie breaks ground in terms of its technical attributes.
In this film, we have pushed ourselves, and there's not a lot of CGI or computer effects. We had to keep it at a minimal. We did use computer effects here and there, but it's very acting based. If you watch the film, you'll see that most of the characters, we've actually pulled the overall emotion of the film. This film is truly about survival. It's not about a terrorist attack, although the film is called Dhaka Attack. So one might assume it is about a film which is specifically about attack. No, it's not about attack, it's about survival. It's about coming together and protecting ourselves against evil. That's what it's about.
Now, you come from an artistic and creative family.
I do.
Tell us a little bit about your family.
I come from a family of creative people. My father, Anis Ramantonu, he is a acclaimed musician, music director. He's a producer. My mother is a writer, Abida Rahman. And my brother, who's also an acclaimed director at the moment, Taneem Rahman. So I have been surrounded with a lot of creativity, positivity, and a lot of encouragement and support. So growing up as a child, I was able to explore myself and express myself as an artist. I love singing, I love composing. And now when I look back, as far as I can remember, I've always been around people that are artistic. Wherever I went, I was either drawing, I was either doing music, I was either singing, or I was always around camera. I hate camera. I wouldn't say that I'm a big fan of camera, but I have always been surrounded by cameras, right?
I'm very interested that now you came to Australia as a student. So you've been here for almost, over, 16, 17
It's been a while.
years. I'm very interested, how have you managed to maintain an acting career in Bangladesh, yet still living in Australia?
Once again, I have been involved in media since I was a child. And I would say up till 1998, 99, 2000, I was quite active. I'm not too sure if you're familiar, but there was quite a few BTV program. Like I used to be a enlisted actor in BTV. So when I was growing up, I did participate in a number of children.
You're a child actor.
Yeah, as a child actor. I have been a part of some dramas in BTV. So it was mostly in BTV. So then came package programs, right, which we call package natoks. So in package natoks, what we did, these were in my teen years. Like I started acting as a teenage actor. So I had exposure with to a lot of actors out there, and I had the privilege to act with people like for Human Foidi sir, Abul Hayat sir, Dolly Zohor, and the name goes on. So I had the opportunity to work with a number of people. I have trained myself as an actor. So up till 99 and 98, I was quite active. But when I moved away from the country, I was always hoping that I always wanted to go back and sort of, resume my acting career over there. In 2010, I went back home and I got together with my brother and a couple of other friends, and they said, look, the time is now right. Let's come up with an exciting project. Let's do something. And that's when we, decided to do a few works, and I worked in a couple of dramas and worked in 2 different films. I did one film called Adi, which is still, yet to come out. Hopefully it'll be out by next year. And there's a couple of other films coming out. They're quite exciting. I've always been in contact with a number of producers and directors. We've always been in contact. So
You had those,
yes.
You had a network
Yes. So the network was
already
always
established.
active. Yes.
I say, yeah. Now, I understand this film has been very successful. Tell us a bit about that. Tell us about the success of this movie.
I feel extremely privileged and honored and very lucky at this stage because the film has gotten astonishing response from around the world. So thanks to all the viewers out there. I mean, they've loved this film so far. Thanks to the director, once again, Dipon and Sunny Sanorbai. They've been very, very kind and supportive. And this has been nothing but an absolutely amazing, a magical journey of creativity for all of us. And we've all come together. I mean, now when I look back, I feel that everything worked out just fine. We were very true, we were very focused, and we were very dedicated. We didn't worry about what was going on around us. Every day when we came on location, we forgot about what was going on in the outside of the world. We were just focused. And we were traveling, we were working hard from day to night, from sun up to sundown. And yeah, we were just a bunch of people doing what we like doing. And, I haven't been able to go back to Dhaka. The film came out in 8th of October, I think, actually 6th of October, I'm sorry. But ever since then, it's been absolutely crazy and it's been so ecstatic. It's been so exciting. I've been hearing things every single day. Then people are telling me that you really need to go back so that you can get a feel of it, what's going on. But
well, how has it affected you personally, the success?
I feel honored, and I feel I feel a sense of responsibility, and I feel that there's a lot I can do now as an actor. I have taken this quite seriously, and I want to take this further, and I want to constantly challenge myself. I want to take on board a lot of more exciting projects like this.
I haven't seen the movie, and I apologise for that, but I know that you have some particular lines that are, I guess, iconic lines, and we don't want to give away too much of that about the movie for those who haven't seen it. But maybe just give us a bit of a taste of some of your most special lines.
Jason, the character, he's the way he reveals himself in the film is very exciting. So he's a hideout. You wouldn't see him very often. He reveals himself at a particular moment. That's exactly when you will see that, okay, so this is the person that we've all been waiting for. So he has one dialogue, which I'm sure a lot of people now are familiar with. He says, "I have been planning for this for a long time." And he's sitting in his lab and he's been reviewing everything. He's been watching everything that's been going on in the country, and he's got his tabs on everybody. Very, very frightening character. Completely different to how I am as a person, because I'm a happy person. I always like to make people laugh.
He's a very calculating character.
Very calculated, very, very precise, and he knows what he wants, and he's extremely intelligent as well. He's chemically and technically gifted individual, which can be quite frightening for the government and the community in the film, of course.
A lot of our female audience will be interested in whether you're single or not.
I am not single. No, I'm at the moment I'm focusing on my work, and you can say that I'm married to my work at the moment. I love my creativity and I love my work. So at the moment, that's my life.
Tell me a little bit about, having lived in Australia for a long time, tell me, I guess, how you view your ethnic identity.
Well, although I've been living away for a while now, but I'm very much engaged in Bangladeshi community. I'm always looking out to do things, and it doesn't matter what sort of a project it is and how big or small it is. I do interact with Bangladeshi communities here in Sydney. I am involved in the music sector. I do compose music from time to time. I do lots of artworks. I love oil painting. I have done exhibitions in Sydney State Library of New South Wales. I enjoy art in the whole, music, art, and obviously acting. So I don't feel, I never look at it the way that, okay, I'm away from Bangladesh, so I can't be involved in Bangladesh. I'm so involved in Bangladeshi community, so I never quite feel isolated. Or
do you feel Australian?
I feel I'm somewhere. I mean, I feel. So if you divide AM and PM, so you got AM and PM. In AM, I'm probably, in Bangladesh, and in PM I'm in Australia. However way you want to put it.
So it depends on the time zone.
Depends on the time, depends who I'm with. Yes, depends how I'm feeling, yes.
Is there anything else you'd like to add about the movie that you think is important?
Dhaka Attack has been a project of love and creativity, and it is something that we had dreamt of doing. And, it has been a team, it's been a project work. And I believe that it's amazing what we can achieve once we don't care too much about an individual credit. We never looked at the way that, okay, look, I'm taking the credit, or he's taking the credit, or she's taking the credit. All the actors, everybody's involved. We have all individually inputted our 100%. So it's been great. I mean, I think this has changed my life in terms of creativity. This is definitely going to help me to move my career, take it further down.
Well, what other kinds of stories would you like to tell?
I would constantly like to push myself. I want to do more and more challenging roles, not just. And one thing I can tell you, that in my next project, when people watches my next project, my aim, my fundamental intention would be that people would not be able to remember Jason when they see my next character. There will be transformation. I don't want anybody to think that, okay, he's a particular type of, actor. So I want them to constantly think that, okay, I want to be a method actor. I really appreciate and I like the type of acting that comes from theater. People from theater, I really respect that type of acting. So yeah, I think this film has changed my life in many ways, and this will definitely help me push further as an actor, as a creative person, which I am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So there you have it, a fascinating character both on and off the screen. And you can see him in the blockbuster movie, Dhaka Attack.
Thank you.